icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go! Thursday show, August 29th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Excited to be with you, man. I can't wait to do the show. Feeling good. Went to the gym today. I told you I had to have that shot in my shoulder a couple weeks back. I got the green light. Felt good today, so I'm excited. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, buddy.
Hey, Rye. Hey, Bray. Hey,
KG.
Maz? Hey, Pete.
What's up?
Hey, it's a beautiful day out again.
It is.
Kinda. Tiger baseball going on, and we're the only show in town.
That's right.
Let's go.
No doubt about it. Now, one of the things, we'll get to all this stuff today, but one of the things I want to make mention of at the start of the show, high school football starts tonight.
Oh, good.
Around the state of Michigan. And
right.
You're thinking like, I was thinking earlier today, I'm married, I've got 2 kids, I've graduated high school 27 years ago.
Sheesh.
I've covered Super Bowl, World Series, drank out of the Stanley Cup when the Red Wings won it in 09 and 08 in Pittsburgh, covered in NBA Finals. I've done so many great things
Talk that ish, Ryan.
in my career, and I can tell you I remember every last detail of things that happened my senior year in high school football. And I'm just like, for these kids that'll go out there tonight and start their season, just making memories for the rest of their lives. And I just think it's such a great thing. There is nothing like high school football. I know other sports are played, but you get 9 games. You get 9 games, and if you're fortunate enough to play in the playoffs, you get more than that. But all that weightlifting in the offseason, all those two-a-days, all that blood, sweat, and tears, practice before school and stuff like that, you get 9 games, and tonight's one of those games. God bless these kids playing tonight.
Man, that was well said. Well done. I have to almost give you a clap for that because as you said it, I could see it. I can envision. I remember being 17 years old, 2000. I'm planning to get a scholarship to the University of Michigan. But like you said, that work got put in April, in May, in summer, in tour-a-days, and doing the things with Coach George Sahady, who's moved on. Rest in peace to him. But I just wonder, Ryan, do these kids have the same appreciation of the present of the moment? Like you heard Johnny Moxon say in Varsity Blues, he said 24, what did he say? He said 24 minutes for the rest of just tonight, whatever. We were present in those moments, Ryan. I feel like now it's big business more than ever. Each step is the next step to get to the next step to get to the next step. And I don't know if these kids, and you can comment in the chat if you know or if you want to, if you're that age or you got young brothers or if you got kids. Are they present in those moments? Like, you can go back to your high school. I can go back to my high school. I can go to all the fun things that happen after the game, the parties, the hangouts. But now it's big business. Is what are you doing on that field that's going to equate to some numbers that you can put into this database and help your recruiting status as you're trying to get to the next level? And if you're not going to go this route, are you going to have to transfer schools? And then once you get into a smaller school, you're trying to transfer to the bigger school. Or once you get to the bigger school, are you going to play? Now do you have to go to another school and keep doing that? It just seems like they don't have fun with it like we do.
That's probably the good athletes, the great athletes,
Okay.
the ones that are playing in the next level. Most of these kids that are going to play tonight and throughout the year are just community
High
kids
school,
that
and
are
then
playing
that's it.
high school football.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That will never play again.
Yeah.
That's why it's so meaningful too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're lucky enough to continue your career, I mean, that's a whole nother level. But there's just so much greatness comes from playing high school football, I think, and just wanted to make mention of that.
Senior year, who did you open up with?
Notre Dame. Rick Court ran back the opening kickoff for a touchdown for Notre Dame.
Shout out Rick.
And that's the rest. That's the rest of the story. Rick Harper Woods, Notre Dame at the time, played Anchor Bay on homecoming. Lost to Grosse Pointe North that year at the end.
Who'd you take the homecoming?
Well,
Well, those records are permanently sealed.
I remember.
Naz.
Yeah, it's
A gentleman never tells.
We're both married people now.
Yes, I
you know what I
understand
mean.
You don't
both
recall.
have children. I do not recall.
You're right. You don't recall.
KDK Laws
Put
got your
anybody's
back.
business out there.
KDK
you know what I
Laws
mean?
got your back.
As you should.
Nonetheless,
I
yeah.
drop my pants for everybody. It don't matter.
This guy over here.
Right.
Senior year, KG, you play football. Who'd you guys open up against?
No, I've only played Pop Warner.
Okay, Pop Warner.
Yeah.
Senior year, Pete.
Didn't play, my friend. I'm sorry.
I know Maz didn't play, so I
I was the sports editor of the newspaper, though.
Were
Okay,
you really?
so-
I had no idea.
Yeah, I was the sports editor of Paw Prints, North
See-
Bergen High School.
Really?
Senior year,
Paul
opening night. Who'd
Yep.
you guys play then?
Oh, hell, I don't remember.
Oh,
Maybe,
man.
maybe
you
Marist.
remember everything.
Everything.
You remember what happened in
Jersey City.
1947?
Maybe Marist, Jersey City Marist. We were champs, though. We played at Giant Stadium and won the state title.
Oh, you
back
guys
to
played
back
the
years.
Meadowland?
Yep.
Okay, shout out to you guys.
Yep.
That's pretty darn good,
Yeah,
man.
my buddies that I still talk to this day, they still hang their hat on that game.
Man, I'll tell you, I
Senior.
remember getting a comeback win against Lance Cruz North at home. Remember scoring 2 touchdowns
Lance
at Lance Cruz with a
Okay.
broken
Okay.
big toe.
Okay,
I
big guy.
come on,
Two teddies.
man, how much you want to go? You want to keep
teddies.
going?
I see you.
You want to keep going?
Keep going. Give me something else. Give me,
Yeah,
give me
right. That's a
something
flex, man. Never
You want
came
to
out the
keep
game.
going?
And you
I
don't
actually-
remember your high school date, huh? You still don't?
Oh, my God.
No, I do. I do. I just don't
joking.
want to put her business
know.
out
Right,
there.
man.
I
He
know.
doesn't recall,
I
man.
know.
He does not recall.
I'm just messing, man.
Senior year, prep bowl, Bishop Gallagher versus Divine Child. Oh, yeah. First time I played with you, because I went to King for the first 3 years, so first time I played with Gallagher in the Pontiac Silverdome. Look at
that.
That's where the prep bowl used to be. We beat Divine Child, who was ranked at the time 28-0.
Nice.
That was our best win. Every game after that, we either almost lost or lost.
No kidding.
But that
Unbelievable.
touchdown, couple
Who was your
sacks.
quarterback in high school?
Eventually me, but started off with
Eventually
Sam
me.
Martinez. He got hurt and doing 7-on-7, and then Brian Siri, who's a freshman quarterback. Yeah, it was.
Isn't that something,
defense
though?
where all my stats
here's
came
here's
from.
a guy, Michigan's all-time leading receiver.
Right.
Let's think about this for a minute. This proves my point, okay?
Yeah.
This proves my point. This guy played in 2 AFC championship games. Had what, 6, 7, 8 years in the league?
Yep.
Nine years in the league.
Had the touchdown record for a while.
9 years in the league in the NFL.
Yep.
Michigan's all-time leading receiver, and he's just spitting out quarterbacks that he played with at Bishop Gallagher High School. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, come on, man. That just proves my point.
We played your guys game 2 though. De La Salle.
Oh yeah.
Played De La Salle game 2 at
Pilots.
East Point High School. Remember how Gallagher, we didn't have a field, so we play our games at East Point. But we lost to the Pilots, and we lost the Pilot, and I don't think we gave it to him. I think one of our players stole it, but
Give it back. Give it back. I'm a
man.
De La Salle. Give it back.
there you go.
Guys, I want to talk some Lions now. They don't kick off for a couple of weeks. It's a college football week. We'll get to plenty of college football, but the Lions kick off in a couple of weeks.
We're 1 week away tonight from the opening game.
That's right. That's right.
And
So
we'll be down at Achilles for that.
Chiefs
That's
and
right.
Ravens.
technically less than 2 weeks to go before the regular season kicks off for the Lions. Brad Holmes, general manager, and assistant general manager Ray Agnew had a press conference today.
Good one.
And so much was discussed, but there is one very clear thing that stuck out to me. And I want to see if it sticks out to you guys. It was a question from Dave Burkett. Here it is.
Can you share your expectations for the season, just after everything you guys have accomplished, where you're at right now? What are your expectations?
For this season, win the Super Bowl.
What's your expectations to win the Super Bowl?
Darn straight.
Period. This year.
Yeah.
This year.
Period. End of story. This football team has assembled a collection of talent and a team and built through an organization whose goal is to win the Super Bowl. They have everything they believe they need to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season. They don't have to wait for the trade deadline. They don't have to hope somebody in their division gets hurt. They don't have to hope somebody in the NFC gets hurt or loses a game or does anything. They believe they have everything they need to win the Super Bowl right now on the brink of the season beginning. And it's one thing for us to say it. It's one thing for fans to say it. I think it's a whole nother level when you have the general manager of the organization stating what the team's goals are this season. And that ultimate goal is the goal to win the Super Bowl.
You got to appreciate where he's at. And a lot of times teams are dance around. They don't want to fully talk about it. Look, the Lions said it would take 3 years. Here we are in year 4. In 3 years, they got to the NFC Championship, and they were knocking on heaven's door. But they didn't rest on that. They got better in the offseason. They got better through the draft. yet again, and here we are. They trust the players. Look, they built a culture here. They built an identity here, one that we revel in, one that we share, one that we love talking about. We love talking to our friends that live out of town all of a sudden. And we love answering those calls from people that live in different cities because we can brag about this team. We believe that they're going to win the Super Bowl. But when you get your GM talking like that before the season starts, and you know he's on page with Sheila, when you know he's on page with Dan, these guys believe because they believe they have the players, they got the talent, they got the coaches, and they got the trust. It's a well-run machine right now. And when he says it, you gotta get some goosebumps because I believe it.
Can't wait, man. I can't wait. 10 days away. I'm ready to kick it off right now. Like I said, this team has a lot of talent, as much as anybody, especially in the NFC. I believe they have the best offense in the NFC. The only thing standing in their way is themselves. They have a tough schedule, but we really don't know how the teams on that schedule are going to be. Every year, there are new teams that make the playoffs, and there are teams that were in the playoffs that fall down. This team is not going to fall down. I asked yesterday to Dan Miller, I said 10.5 is the number, over or under. He quickly said over. I believe that it will go over. Barely, but I believe it will go over. I think 11 wins, good enough. I think it wins the division. I think at worst, they're going to own that North Division. They're going to have, out of 6 games that they play, I think they win 5 of them. I really believe that. Maybe you lose 1 to the Packers. Maybe you lose 1 to the Bears. Maybe not the Vikings. But I believe that they can do really well in that division. They got the game at home on Thanksgiving against the Bears. They got a Thursday night game against the Packers. Let's go, man. They're playing Green Bay in the good weather. Everything else is indoors.
Here's the other reason why I believe that they can win the Super Bowl, and this is why I trust when Brad Holmes says that. Just look at the best teams in the league. Just screenshot it, snapshot it, however you want to. Boom, Kansas City Chiefs. They're the reigning defending 2 times. But when you look at their team, they lost major players in the offseason. Don't get me wrong, we lost a couple. Didn't lose one as major as Janoris Jenkins. Not Janoris Jenkins, but the DB that they lost. Then look at Rashee Rice in the offseason and what he has to undergo. Yeah, you can say Cam Sutton situation, but he's gone. They still have hovering over them the Rashee Rice situation. Who's going to be the wide receivers? Not that it matters. You go to the Eagles situation. We've talked about how good they are. Yeah, they keep adding pieces to the puzzle, like Jahan Dotson. But who's Nick Sirianni as a head coach? Who is he really? Because they took a major step back last year, and you lost some of your Hall of Fame players. When you look at the landscape of the Detroit Lions, they don't have any distractions. They have the depth that they need. Yeah. They have the quarterback that they need. They have everybody on the – look at the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that consistently seems to be in Detroit's way. They don't even know who their starting second wide receiver is this year. So when you look at it from that standpoint, there are no distractions, whether it's who's getting paid, whether it's off-field injuries, whether it's off-field distractions. They don't have any of that. They got a bunch of guys dialed into the main guy, Dan Campbell. They're all rocking and rolling on the same page. That's why when you ask the question and when he answers it, I'm like, yeah. Who else has a better shot right now when you look at it all together?
Let me say it a different way because you're onto something here, Braylon.
Okay.
Take the Kansas City Chiefs out of this conversation because that quartebaver is so good. Not only elite, Braylon. I mean,
you're right.
This
his own
is
category.
Downplayed.
He's in his own category, and whatever team he's on, that's who you're going to choose. Okay.
Yeah.
So take Kansas City out of this conversation. As the season begins in 2024, is there another roster that you would rather have? You could pick any team in the NFL. You could choose that team to be your team. Is there a better roster than the Detroit Lions in the National Football League right now? You could have any team in the league.
There's a couple.
Who?
I think they're better.
Ravens.
San Francisco, still Eagles. Like there are some rosters that are better. Maybe 3, maybe 2.
Is there a better team?
There it is.
All
The
things
Lions are the most
encompassed.
Coaches, GM,
No.
all the way
That's
down.
what-
And there it is.
That's my point.
No,
here.
there is not. I agree. No, there is not.
You could pick anybody you want
Detroit Lions.
to be your organization, your team
Yeah.
on the brink of 2024. Who you picking?
Detroit Lions.
Honolulu Blue.
They're the most together team that we really know. I mean, no, they're our home team. We pay more attention to them. But everything that you hear and see throughout the NFL, it doesn't look like this. This is the staff is amazing. The coaches are amazing. They're all former players. You don't have that throughout the league. It's really a different vibe. But this team has not been to the big game. Other teams have. That's the major difference.
Okay, other teams have been.
Baltimore has not.
Baltimore hasn't.
Yeah, they
Not,
have.
not this team.
But John Harbaugh has won a Super Bowl.
Oh,
But he's one guy. It takes
I-
the players, though. Like,
I
man,
get it.
You
But
got
the franchise has been there and won twice.
This is true, but that's not fair. That's not fair to say because we're talking about players that aren't on that team anymore, whether it's Ed Reed, whether it's Terrell Suggs, whether it's Ray Lewis, arguably the greatest linebacker of all time. I said arguably. I know Lawrence Taylor, but they play different positions.
Not arguably.
Lawrence Taylor created the outside linebacker position, which is the rush in. But to your point, yes,
Thank
it's
you.
LT. My apologies.
Okay.
With that being said, Lawrence Taylor nor Ray Lewis is in Baltimore right now.
Correct.
You look at the Eagles. Shane Steichen, neither Gannon is on that coaching staff anymore when they got there.
But they were there 2 years ago.
This is true. And look at their team and how it's different now. The Detroit Lions got to the NFC Championship last year. They knocked on the door. They understand what it takes to get there. And that was a team that shouldn't have made it if you look at the metrics. Look at the secondary last year.
Worse.
Look at defensive line last year. That metrically, that team should not have gotten that far and shouldn't have been that close. But yet they were.
Yeah.
And they gotten better. This is the same team. It's the same coaching staff. For the most part, it's the same players. And I think that's going to give them the edge when they get into those moments where they got a dogfight and they got to find that fifth quarter. Well, you know, guys, we've been here before. We saw what we had to do last year to get to this moment. So I just think they're the best, as you said, team. That adversity that they went through last year and then ultimately losing at the doorstep, don't you think that's not going to play into their favor this time next year?
and so much of this
But that time
KG
next
too is like when we have discussions like this, we will be totally literal about that. And the Lions have a better roster, and then you could pick out this fourth receiver or this seventh defensive back and all that stuff. Fine, I understand that, and sure, I am literal when I say that, but for the sake of the conversation, you almost don't have to be.
Yeah.
They are in that conversation of the two or three best teams in the NFL, and I think when you approach a season where you're that good early like that, obviously health is the underlying current of all of this, but when you're that good, you have to take advantage of those years. That's why this is such an important year.
Yep.
Don't expect to be the second or third most highly talented group every single year.
Right.
It's this year. That's why this year is so important. You can't sit there, in my opinion, as a Lions fan and say, okay, if we don't get it done this year, we'll get it done next year. Or we've got a 3-year window. No, your window is today.
Yeah.
This year.
What did Dan Campbell say
And
last year?
You
after the
may
game?
never get back.
There you go.
You got to take advantage of it. And we all know what this is. We haven't heard it just from Brad Holmes. We've heard it all throughout the offseason. We've heard Sheila say it. We've heard some of the players say it. Like, everybody knows what the mission is, and they got to the NFC Championship last year having one of the worst secondaries in football, and they improved. They had that team down, essentially blowing them out in one half of football. So that just shows you that they are ready for this moment. It's not from, they just got there by luck. No, they proved that they are a team to be reckoned with. They have everything core foundationally done to be able to withstand these punches and get back to that moment. It's just all about staying healthy and staying the course. But this team is ready, man, and I have no qualms that they will be able to at least get back to that point this year. It's just about, will they get it done?
And that's really it, Bray. I mean, as better as anybody. When you got back in 09, you probably, when you played in that AFC Championship game in 09, you came back in 10, and you thought you were automatically going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, it's so hard to get back and continue on that window.
It's tough. I'm not going to lie. It's a hope versus a no. And at that time, look, I hoped that we would get back to the AFC Championship, but I didn't think so. Like, I thought we had missed the moment because, look, Maz knows that season like anybody. We barely made the playoffs that year. We got the last slot. We barely made it in. We limped into the playoffs. We had a magical run, and, Cinderella, hey, look, the clock struck 12. I don't think. Barely. But, I didn't know if we could get back again. And then you go through the things, the trials and tribulations of another season, and you make it back and lose again. But just in that moment, I didn't know if you could, and it's tough. But that next year, Ryan, it's tough because more is placed on you. More things are on you. Like, you know what? Guys, you should win the division. You know what, guys? You're better than the Patriots. You know what, guys? You're better. You're knocking on the door, beating Peyton. This is what's expected of you guys. And so you have some slip-ups early on. But anyway, long story short, it's tough. And the mental, it is on you every game, all game. Because now everybody, they're going to give you more than their best. You're not just a good team. You're a team that is one of four that people are picking to win the Super Bowl. They're going to give you more than their best because this is how players get paid. This is how coaches get paid. This is how some coaches become head coaches. What do you do against the teams that they think are elite? And the Lions are elite. So you're going to get everybody's best game plan, everybody's best game as a player. You're going to get all the commentators' best games.
And isn't that too, and Maz, you brought up the schedule, and I think a lot of Lions fans will look at the schedule and be like, it's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
You know who also plays tough schedules? Kansas City,
Winners. Yeah.
and Baltimore, and San Francisco, and Philadelphia, and all these teams.
Yeah.
They always wind up back there.
New England and
Yep.
Pittsburgh. They're all playing the best teams every single year,
Yep.
and they always get back. They always continue to find sustained success.
Yeah.
That's why we can't make it.
I'm going to make you close that laptop.
You watching the Tigers?
He's watching the Tigers, totally not even paying attention.
One bad pitch from Montero. That's all I got to say.
I keep looking over at Maz trying to see if, he wants to chime in or anything like that.
Nah,
I'm going to make
he's
him.
doubted to
I'm going to
the
make him close that laptop.
Yeah. Good luck.
You're one segment
In
away,
2
man.
minutes.
You're one segment away.
Let me get back to this. Ray Agnew, Brad Holmes, Ray Agnew, assistant general manager. For those that don't know, he joined Brad Holmes on the
Good
podium
to see Ray.
today.
Because he's definitely doing something right in that booth.
Again, big part of the organization. Guys working together. Chris Spielman, Brad Holmes, Sheila Hamp, Rod Wood, Ray Agnew, Dan Campbell, Mike Disner, John Dorsey, all these guys working together on the same page. Here's what they had to say about Lions fans. Okay, this is great. Ray Agnew even getting his picture taken.
It's been great. First of all, I've enjoyed every minute here in the city of Detroit. I probably don't get noticed as much as my buddy here, but it's been great, and the fans are great. I remember one time at this certain wing spot that I like. I'm not gonna give them a plot right now, but where I go get wings a lot, and a kid wanted to take a picture with me, and you guys are doing great, but the fans are so passionate here, man, and it's just great to see, when you're out at restaurants and you do get noticed by some people. It's great to see, and it's been a joy,
I've lived in different cities with football teams, and this is no shot to them, but this is completely different than I've ever experienced in my entire life, and I truly mean that.
He told a story earlier when he first got to town, and they were in the midst of a 10-game losing streak or something like that, and his wife and kids just got here. They had stayed back, but they had just got here, and he was living in Birmingham at the time, and he was walking down the street going to a restaurant, and people are coming up to, stick with it, you got this, and he's like, usually in a 10-game losing streak or something like that, you're like, oh, you suck, you guys run you out of town, but he's like, everybody's always been just so gracious here and so happy, and
we're starving.
He said this is unlike any other place he's ever been, and it's just a reminder of how this place. I mean, did you see? I don't know if we talked about this. Maybe I did not, because I wasn't at the golf outing on Monday. That preseason game in the fourth quarter,
it was crazy.
You could hear it through the TV.
It was a false start call.
They're drawing the other team off false starts.
Yeah.
I have never in my life seen a preseason atmosphere like that.
Dan Campbell said it. He went on the podium and said, you guys are unbelievable, talking to the Lion fans. He's like, never seen anything like that. Just what you said, every single word. And they were fantastic. And they sold every single ticket in that place.
And standing room only.
And people they go to that game because that's probably the one game you could afford to actually go, especially on the secondary market where you can get in for less than $300, $200. Right. And a lot of those people, they can't come back. Opening day, you're not going to be able to get in for under $500 probably.
Seriously.
It's wild, man.
They have a waiting list, man. I told you about my Giants waiting list story. 1975, I'm on the waiting
They
list.
finally hit you up,
I'm
yeah.
freaking 13 years old.
Wow.
They didn't call me till I lived in Michigan, and I was working for another station, and they called me because they built the new stadium.
MetLife.
Hey, Mr. Mazaway, congratulations. Your number's finally been called. I'm talking 50, 40-something years.
And that's something.
That is
40,
wild.
and then they told me about the personal seat license, and I hung up on them. But nonetheless, you don't get personal.
Can you remind me of what that?
Yeah.
Because I would say, why wouldn't you'd have to buy the tickets?
I was going to buy the
yeah.
tickets and let my family go.
Right.
Because I would have had them in my family.
Sure.
You got to buy the personal seat license first.
Wow.
For the lower tier, if I'm not mistaken, it was an upwards of $20,000 or $15,000 per seat. Those are your seats. Now you got to buy the tickets for them. Upper deck was around 10 grand. You own the seats, but you have to then buy the tickets every single year, or you lose your tickets. You lose them.
So
and
it's-
if someone goes and sits in your seats that you sold the tickets to, and they act the fool, guess who gets in trouble?
You.
Yes. That's what personal seat licenses are. And thank God Detroit has not gotten there. Lots of places have, though.
Do you think I don't know if
I
we'll
hope
ever
not.
get there.
I hope not.
No,
I just
not-
don't
But
think
the tickets went up,
economic-
about
yeah.
75% in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think once you start talking about seat licenses, you're talking about cities like Chicago, cities like
Yeah.
New
Big
York,
cities,
cities
big
like
markets.
LA,
Yeah.
yeah, the big market city, Philadelphia, maybe.
You know,
something
SoFi
like
is that way.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're doing something like that. Just talking about the Lions and the fans, why they're that way. Lions been starving.
Mm-hmm.
Lions fans been starving. And I grew up, look, my dad played for the Lions. Y'all know the story. I still wasn't a Lions fan because he played for the Oilers, so I was an Oilers fan and then a 49ers fan. But I remember watching Sunday in, Sunday out, just the reaction, just what it would do for the average working man on Monday or the working woman because she was the Lions fan as well. So to see all the heartbreak, all the ups and downs, all the close breaks and you didn't go your way, to see where they are now, and you have a sense of somebody that you've been asking for the individuals. That's what it is. You've been asking for all these years for the individuals that run the team now. You've been asking for. You've been asking for a coach that would be honest and knew what the heck he was doing and go out there and motivate the guy and be a man's guy or be a rah-rah locker room guy. Stan Campbell. You've been asking for a competent owner, somebody that will spend the money that they're supposed to, not spend the money that they're not supposed to, be there, show up so you can see their face.
Right. That gives a damn.
That's Sheila. And you've been asking for a general manager. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
You've been asking for a general manager for oh so long. You got all three of those people, those individuals, and they're working like the Holy Trinity, man. It's working. So I think that's where you see the love. They're like, don't leave. Like everybody that's a part of this Lions organization, they want to give them love because they want to say, look, we've been asking for it. So we got to show the love and appreciation once we get it.
And it's not just here, though. It's crazy. It's not just Detroit. They packed out Lambeau Field last year. Raymond James was Ford Field South last year. SoFi, like they are traveling too.
Yeah,
Like this thing is absolutely crazy. But once again, it's the right people in place, and they're finally doing the things that we thought were impossible. When Matt Patricia got here, we thought this setback was going to be multiple seasons, 5 to 6 at least. They got this done in 3, and now look where we are, actually saying we're Super Bowl contenders.
Just know that Detroit sports fans are the best. And I'll tell you why. Red Wings, what do they do on the road? They own that building. Tiger fans, they own their buildings as well. They go on the road,
About
and
the
there
Pistons?
are lots of Tiger fans.
What about the
Lots. I won't say anything about the Pistons, okay? But the other 3 are amazing on the road. And I don't know, maybe the Pistons back in the early 90s, maybe they did the same thing.
Or the going to work Pistons even.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't
They
think
have a
anybody's
little-
ever liked the Pistons outside Detroit.
No, that's
I just think that's what it is.
Didn't play that good of a brand of basketball, period, or exciting anyway.
Good for us.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, more from this Brad Holmes press conference today. What his message to the players were that got cut. Talk about Hendon Hooker. How about Jake Fromm making this ball club? And who the Lions have back on the practice squad. And we called it yesterday. One of those wide receivers is on the
Y'all
practice
did.
squad. Not talking about Donovan Peoples-Jones either, although he's there too. All that and so much more coming up next. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, look no further than Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella: Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And how about Michigan's best pet store? I'm talking about PremierPetSupply.com, family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, curbside delivery, and they got nutritionists on call for any time you have a question about your pooch or any other pet you have. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseChevy.com.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
This Friday.
Good to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com, Bray.
The best insurance you can get outside of Swiss is Planet Fitness, because they will ensure that your fitness is essential, because it is, with over 50 locations in metropolitan Detroit. It's just the gym for you. It's the place to be. It's where you got to be at, because they feature a squeaky clean gym, total body workout, and also doesn't matter what membership you sign up with, because it will give you access to a trainer. A trainer, you can get yourself in shape. It is not too late. No judgment, because it's home with a judgment-free zone. No judgment-free, that is. Planet Fitness, simply your fitness is essential.
First, I want to start off just really thanking the players, all 90 of them that we've had in camp. They poured so much into this thing. They gave it their all. They sacrificed so much. And look, I know we're talking about like how training camp ended, but these guys, they've been grinding since the spring. So I have the utmost respect and appreciation for all of them. And I thought Dan did a phenomenal job preparing the team and managing this camp. You know, I'm always in awe with him in terms of how he can put players in position to grow and develop, all while getting the team ready to go. And even when you say that word getting them ready, it's a ton of work that goes into getting the team ready. So really, Dan and all the coaches, I just thought that they did a great job. Want to thank our personnel department. They've all worked really, really hard. It's a lot of moving parts in the preseason and a lot of film that you have to watch, a lot of evaluation you have to do. Our entire personnel department, it's a lot more pro scouting led. So I thought Rob Lohman, our pro director, I thought he had a great process from a preseason scouting standpoint, but the entire operation and really our whole organization, it's far too many to name. But they all know that it takes every single last one of them. It's all hands on deck. It's very collaborative. So just want to give appreciation and thanks for everything that everybody did to have a successful camp. Want to congratulate the players that made our 69. I know it's, the focus is on the 53, but, our practice squad, we put a lot of work and pride into that, and we'll have to use all of those guys at some point as we normally do.
And welcome back. That was Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew, Lions general manager and assistant general manager, talking about the cuts 90 down to 53, actually 90 now down to 69 because of the allotment of the practice squad players. Yep. And speaking of the practice squad, let's get to some of those names. Mitchell Agude, the linebacker, had a pretty good camp.
Led him in tackles.
That's right. Kingsley Egwakum. Jake Fromm made the practice squad. You're going to hear Brad Holmes.
Here late, too.
Absolutely going to hear Brad Holmes talk about Jake Fromm momentarily. Jameer Jefferson, Tom Kennedy, James Mitchell.
Yeah, TK.
Kyle Pecco. How about Allen Robinson?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey. Wide receiver Allen Robinson.
Welcome home.
We mentioned his name yesterday as a guy that could absolutely be here. Remember when just 12 months ago we wanted to pay him $20 million a year to come? Yep. Now we got him on the practice squad. And that's something.
Patience and Brad Holmes. It's gonna be. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I asked Dave Burkett how much the practice squad guys make. I'm going to ask you, Rye. I know Braylon knows.
I think I know.
How much do you think they make?
If they're around for the full season, it's about $250,000.
Yeah, they make from $12,500 to $24,000 each, depending on how many years they had in the NFL. So that's per week. That's not a bad weekly paycheck.
No, absolutely. And if you're on for 17 weeks,
look at a guy like Tom Kennedy.
Right.
That's a damn good living.
Talking about a couple of $100K.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I need that. Great living, man.
And if you get into a game check, right, Bray? If you get called up, that would be extra. Am I correct?
If you get into a game check, the average for NFL, the minimum is like $775,000.
Woo.
Yeah.
So
I need to be on practice squad.
Divided by 17. In one of those.
Exactly.
Right. What it is. Speaking of Jake Fromm, though, here's before I get to Fromm, the fact that this team has Donovan Peoples-Jones and Allen Robinson. And Tim Patrick, 3 veteran wide receivers. If I told you that Tim Patrick, Allen Robinson, and Donovan Peoples-Jones were your 1, 2, 3 on your active roster, would you be okay with
that? You'd be the Carolina Panthers.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Seriously, though. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm laughing at man.
And that's something.
You would be the Panthers.
Right? Wouldn't that be something?
And we got
That's a better 3 than the Buffalo Bills claim to have right now.
Right. Yeah, Shane Zylstra's back too. I think that's a big deal, and James Mitchell. But
oh yeah, two more tight ends down there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you look at that roster right now with Allen Robinson. I mean, this is a guy, 2 years ago, he had 1,100 yards in this league, 8 touchdowns, I do believe. I think the lack of separation is where the issue is for him in terms of getting paid the big bucks, but you don't need separation to catch a 50-50 ball. That's what you need in Allen Robinson, a guy that can go up, make the big catch, get you a 50-50 ball here and there. So just looking at Donovan Peoples-Jones, I mean, those practices, they're going to be on fire because guys are going to be working, guys are going to try to be on that team. And you're giving them the incentive. The incentive for Allen Robinson is the same incentive for DPJ and Tim Patrick. You get a chance to get out there and play for a team that's going to the Super Bowl, has a chance to win the Super Bowl. So I think you will get the best out of them in practice each and every day.
No doubt about it. All right, let's get to Fromm. I think that was a little bit of a surprise. I think Fromm over Sudfeld on the practice squad. You got
to pay him more.
Yeah, that's true. But if your eyes are telling the whole story, Jake Fromm played better than Nate Sudfeld in the game when he was given the opportunity. Here's what Holmes had to say about Jake Fromm.
I've always been a fan of the player ever since he came out of Georgia, and I even dating back to high school, coming out of Warner Robins, he's always been a winner, and I've always said, I guess the best analogy I could say is, and I tell young kids all the time, I told the kids at the combine when I spoke to them and speaking to the quarterbacks, some guys, they don't want to throw, they don't want to work out because they're not working with their guys. They want to wait till their, orchestrated pro day and all that. And same with all-star games to an extent too. But when a quarterback can go out there and operate and be accurate for guys that he have not been working with, that's impressive. And it wasn't just that. Obviously, there's a lot more other things that he showed in a short amount of time that was not seen on film. But he was impressive in a short time, and so that's what did it for him. And we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Fromm, again, look, I'm
happy for the kid.
I am too, and I think part of it is like you see a player that gets an opportunity that is just here for an arm. Hendon Hooker had a concussion. They weren't sure if he was going to play, so they just brought some quarterback off the street because they needed an arm in camp, in practice. And he's like, oh, damn, I'll just take this opportunity and go with it right now. So I appreciate anybody that does that, takes care of an opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. When I was playing in Cleveland, there was a DB by the name of Davin Holly. Man, stop. I see you over there. There was a DB by the name of Davin Holly. I think he played at Cincinnati. He played his years, and, we needed some DBs going into the season, and we picked Davin Holly up. This is the 2007 season. This is the year we won 10 games, man, as we were 7-1 at home. We picked Davin up off the street, basically, essentially, hey, we need a guy.
I don't remember that guy.
Exactly. He was the third, fourth DB. He wasn't anybody that you would know, but he was the third or fourth guy. He came in and made some plays for us, man. It's like this year that we 10 games, Davin had like 4 interceptions. He had a fumble recovery for a touchdown that helped win us a game. He made those plays in preseason. We got a chance to see him. He was consistent. He was out there doing the things necessary. And just like Fromm, when he got an opportunity and got some eyes on him, he impressed the coaches every time. He played well for us, man. Like, you pick a guy up and get you 4 interceptions and play the whole season. But I'm not saying it's going to be Jake Fromm, but same thing. Got an opportunity, and he showed out and showed up.
No doubt. Now let's talk about QB2, guys. Hendon Hooker earned the spot to be who's the quarterback's name? Jared Goff. Oh, yeah. Totally
kind of an important name.
Long week, man. Michigan's coming up.
It's a big name in this
it's so funny.
It's a big week for us, right?
It's so funny that, these guys don't play during preseason. So for a month, you're talking about everybody other than the guys that
Hooker,
play.
Suffield, Jake Fromm. That's 3 quarterbacks.
You're not talking about Amon-Ra or Jameer Gibbs or Laporta or Branch or
you're right.
Goff or anything. You're not talking about any of these players. You're talking about guys like Allen Robinson and DPJ and Tom Kennedy and Mitchell Agude and Hendon Hooker. Here's what the general manager had to say about Hooker's confidence.
I'll say for Hendon, I would say I don't think it was one moment. I would say just the more reps he got, the more confident he got, and the more he played, the more confidence that we had in him as it went on. And when I look back at Hendon, going back to his college career, really what he's doing right now is not a whole lot different than what his college path was. When he came out of Dudley High School and got to Virginia Tech, he didn't just become the guy. He had to work and grind. He was in a competition. He had a battle. He had to wait his time, and eventually it came. And then when he hit the portal and went to UT, it was the same thing. He was competing. He had a battle. He had to be behind some, and he just kept putting the work in. And we have confidence in him because he's wired right to go through that. He's already proven that he can go through that. And so I think he's really taken the same kind of steps that he's always taken. But obviously you see the ability and the talent he has. He gave a lot of life and spark to the offense when he had his opportunities. And he's still learning. He's still growing. But, that's kind of what went into all of it.
Improvement, man. Just keep making improvements. Just keep, anytime you get the football in your hand or you're in a classroom, just keep improving. That's the bottom line with this guy.
I think the big thing, too, is just track record. You have a track record of guys that came in and worked hard, and they got better and better and better, whether it was each game, whether it was each season, They got better, and you see the results. When you have a proven deal, the Lions recipe is proven right now. So you're talking about watching film. You got guys to watch film with. You got guys to study with. You got guys to stay after and work the lines. They work the things that they need to do. So there's really no excuse on this team to come in as a guy that's not playing or as a third or fourth guy or a guy trying to figure it out and not be able to figure it out because everybody is putting in that extra work wherever they need to. So this is a team that has the recipe and the formula for success. It's just about you being a guy that wants to follow. I've been on teams where they weren't doing it the right way. There's nobody to follow from. And I've been on teams where they are doing it the right way, and you got guys that you can follow, an Earl Watson or a Cam Chancellor or a Richard Sherman or a Patrick Willis. And you can follow these guys and see what they're doing. That's what Detroit is. So it makes it a lot easier for guys like Hendon Hooker or third and fourth guys.
Listen, man, Jared Goff's our guy. We know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they drafted this kid in the 3rd round. And, again, we laugh about his age. But he is what he is. Like what Brad Holmes said, what you saw in college, that's the quarterback he is. And you saw him in the preseason. Man, he could run, and he's got an arm.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm telling you, if he does get in the game, I don't think teams are going to be locked in knowing everything that this guy's going to do. He gives you something that Jared Goff does not give you. He can run that damn ball. He can run that option. He can run the, whatever. What do they call the
read option?
Yeah, the read option.
Yeah.
I could picture him running that thing for 10, 15 yards at a clip. And they talk about Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. That guy's going to run for over 1,000 yards this year, they say. 1,000 yards for a big quarterback. Hendon Hooker's not his size. But this game, it's starting to change, man. The Lamar Jacksons, the Jalen Hurts, those type of quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, you got one of them now, guys.
Hendon Hooker's kind of like a Justin Fields situation, and what that is Justin Fields didn't have to run at Ohio State. You got top-tier wide receivers. I mean, shoot, he has 4 receivers in the league right now that have 1,000 yards since they've been a rookie. You have receivers like that. You have running backs like J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
You don't have to run the ball. So what happens? Scouts don't know you can run. I never knew Justin Fields could run until he got to the Chicago Bears and he was running for his life.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're starting to see in the NFL. Hendon Hooker played in Josh Heupel's system out there in Tennessee. He didn't have to run anywhere. Like, he didn't have to sprint and show you the ability that he has. And now he's got in the league, and you saw a little bit of it. It's like, whoa, he can do that. A lot of guys can do that because the systems they play in college, they're conducive just passing only, and they don't have to. They stand back there in major programs. When are they getting tested?
I think Hooker obviously can run. I think his game is more of a pocket passer.
Yeah, he runs.
You know what I mean?
That's like Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson.
That's not what he showed in the preseason.
I understand that.
True, but
I think
he was on the run for.
That was adrenaline. That was adrenaline.
And a bad offensive line.
And I think he's just running for his life, and he's a little bit giddy.
Mm-hmm.
After being on a football field for the first time in over a calendar year, too. You know what I mean? So I think that has something to do with it. Brian Baldinger broke down Hendon Hooker's preseason. Here's what Baldy had to say about it.
Hendon Hooker played just about half of the snaps for the Lions this summer. You watch this throw right here. It's right on a tee right there to Ian Williams. Nice throw. Now this play right here, you're going to get this slot blitz coming free. So he doesn't even set his back foot. He's got a free hitter coming at him, and he's got a defensive end turning the corner on him. Now, can you explode out of your shoes right here? Hendon Hooker, all the way back from that ACL tear at Tennessee, he explodes and defeats 2 oncoming rushers. Now you throw the flat route right out here, right to Jake Funk, perfect throw. All right, in the end zone, touchdown, you'll take it. And then you get some play action passes to Caden Davis right here with pressure coming right at you. Look right down the gun barrel and deliver the pass. Low and away from the defender. Good location. All right, and then you get this right here. Like, this is intercepted, but I thought the throw to Ian Williams was good. I didn't think he ran through right there. So that's going to happen. It's going to happen to receivers. You have to live with it. All right, that's an interception. Looked like he had a good throw. Little play action right here. You're going to run just a go route on the outside and a dig route on the inside, and he puts it on Maurice Alexander for the catch. I thought Hendon played well. Thought he showed good command, and I think he's just going to work his way up the ladder here over time.
There you go. That's
Love
what
it.
Baldy had to say. Absolutely.
Love that.
I loved it too. And
that interception really wasn't his fault, as I said.
I've been saying that.
Isaiah Williams did not run towards that ball.
Boy, y'all be trying to blame the receivers all the time.
If you watch it back, he slowed up in the middle of his route.
The receiver didn't finish the route. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
It was on the wide out.
Yeah, so Lions football, baby. Lions football coming September 8th, a week from Sunday night. And again, the NFL season kicks off 1 week from tonight. How about that?
Can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ravens and the Chiefs from Kansas City.
A banger.
Absolutely. I want to play this Mina Kimes for you as well. This is about Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is a player, and again, we haven't talked much about St. Brown. It's contract. Unless these guys are in a contract or in a injury situation, you don't talk about it.
Well, she's talking with Amon-Ra about Dan Campbell going forward on fourth down a lot.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Oh.
Going from Ben to Dan Campbell, I mean, one of the things I like about him as a sort of nerd, I love his aggression on fourth downs. And I love the fact that for him, it's about process. You know, even when it doesn't work, he says, well, this is who we are. We have done this. We are sticking to our identity. But what I want to ask you is, you know, in a game, some high profile moments where it hasn't worked, how does that play in the locker room after?
We don't really, bat an eye. We understand, going into games that if it's fourth and short and we're in the plus territory or whatnot, we're probably going to go for it. And so that's, like you said, that's our identity. That's all I've really known since I've been here. So sometimes it'll be third and 7. We'll run a play, we'll run a play only getting 5 yards. And in my head sometimes, well, it used to be, why are we running this play? We're only probably going to get 5 yards on this. But the coaches, they all know we're going for on fourth down. So now I even know when it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and we get, we call a play that's only designed to get 6 or 7 yards, it's because we're going to go for on fourth down. So me as a player understanding that it helps me out in certain situations because I'm not trying to, my route is at 5 yards. Don't try to push it to 7 yards to get the first down. Run the route at 5, catch it. If you don't get the first down, that's fine. We're going to go for on fourth down. So being able to understand that aspect kind of has helped, I feel like, our whole offense because early on we didn't really understand it, but, as we kept doing it, it kind of made sense.
It's sort of like organizational buy-in almost, which strikes me as like great coaching and leadership, that everybody is kind of rowing together.
It kind of helps when you have the same coaches for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's all the same players that have been around, same quarterback. So that plays a big part, but I feel like we're all bought in.
So that was Mina Kimes talking to Amon-Ra St. Brown about Dan Campbell and the fourth down aggressiveness. Look, we all know Dan Campbell is in absolutely zero danger of losing his job. They could go 3-14 this year, and Dan Campbell would not lose his job. But it does get you to thinking, Braylon, who is under the most pressure to win this year?
I got one.
I got two coaches.
I got the number one.
I have 4.
Okay. Who is it?
Sean McDermott.
Wow.
Ooh,
not bad.
He was not on my list, but that's a good one.
Not bad.
Buffalo.
I think he's cooked.
Talk to me about Buffalo. They seem like they have a worse roster.
I don't even know who their receivers are except Keon Coleman. Basically, now Pete can give you all the fantasy guys. I get it, but they don't really have a great staff up there. You complain about the Lions wide receivers. Practice squad players are better than what they have in Buffalo starting to let Stephon Diggs go. He's had it with Josh Allen. Those two are at each other's throats, so that's why they sent him to the Texans. But I believe Buffalo. I don't even know their running game if that's good enough as well. Who's their running back?
James Cook.
James Cook. Has he ever been good? I don't know.
He's been all right.
Cook is back in the game. I just don't believe that. I think Buffalo has had it. They had their 4 Super Bowl chances, and now they had 3 more chances to get in that big game. And like Braylon says, they have not been the same since that overtime loss to the Kansas City Chiefs when they lost the coin toss. And they've gone down each and every year.
You know what? I'm so comfortable with my list, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rank it in order. I had him as number 1. I got your guy as number 2. But I'll let you guys go. I won't talk.
Yeah, mine is Kyle Shanahan. He's quickly becoming they are quickly becoming the Bills of the NFC, man. You look at what they've had to go through last year, their playoff run, real suspect. They did get to the Super Bowl, don't get me wrong, but if you watch the receiver, you know that they had some trials and tribulations leading up to that, man. You look, Trent Williams wasn't in camp for a good portion of this year. You have the Brandon Ayuk situation. I think they're slowly but surely deteriorating, and you only get so many bites at the apple.
Ryan, I'll let you
These are so good, by the way.
Yeah.
And there's an argument that can be made for all of them. I've got two that come to mind. First one jumps off the page, John Harbaugh. To me.
Okay.
John Harbaugh.
That's an odd one.
Well, I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
It's not odd at all.
It isn't.
I think Shanahan's odd, too.
They have got to win the Super Bowl this year. They are also a team that feels like they have to take that next step.
Yep, there you go.
They brought in the running back, Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
They have a defense. They pay that quarterback a lot of money. It feels like this is a really big year for John Harbaugh. He's been there for what? Upwards of 18 years, 17 years?
Mm-hmm. 2012 his first year.
He's got a Super Bowl win, though.
Oh, yeah. No, he's been there before that. I'm sure.
I feel like
he's got
been
a
there
Super Bowl win.
And then the other one is a guy that also has a Super Bowl win and has also been there for 16-some years. It's Mike Tomlin.
2008.
No, yeah.
I think Mike Tomlin is on the brink too. I mean, if they have a losing season this year, could you see them making a change, a new direction? I mentioned yesterday the Steelers as just the most boring team.
They are.
I see the Steelers on the national television thing and
turn them off.
And I do. I turn them off because they don't even win anymore. I mean, they have a winning record.
They bore you.
But they bore me to death.
Yeah, it's a struggle game.
Right.
The whole game is struggle.
It is. So TJ Watt feels like, he's a great player, but
always injured.
Never available. So, yeah, I feel like those two. And a third one that I'll let Bray talk
Bray,
about.
there's a ton left.
Yeah, I've got another one too.
The other ones I don't care about. The ones I chose to go is the ones like you guys named. The ones you're like, head scratchers because their record is good in the regular season. They make the playoff. They get a win in the playoff, but then they don't close the door. So it's so funny. First one on the list was Sean McDermott.
Mm-hmm.
The second one on the list was John Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. And then the third one on the list was Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, wow.
And then my fourth one was Nick Sirianni. But just getting into your three, 100%. And the reason why, look, you can win all you want to. Like, oh, my God, Kyle Shanahan, he's a genius. He's done this. He's gone. But what have you really done? You've gotten to the Super Bowl. You got to the door. You haven't closed the door. You haven't won the big game. You've been twice. You got to the NFC Championship. You're becoming like the LeBron when he was the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're getting to the dance all the time, but you can't close the door. With all that talent, with all that genius that you're supposed to possess, you're the guy supposed to come up with something, and yet he hasn't been able to come up with it. So I mean, look at Sean McDermott. Like, this is your last. This is
I
your
think
last
it's
straw.
closed on him already.
I don't even have to elaborate after what Matt said. This is your last straw. And then John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
You went to Super Bowl. You won in 13. But what's happened since?
Nothing.
Like, what's happened since? How many times you gonna blame Lamar Jackson for not getting it done in the playoffs? How many times you gonna blame injuries being the reason you can't get it done in the playoffs? Like, has the game passed you by? Because every year, the Baltimore Ravens have the best defense, second best defense, third best defense, but what do they have to show for it? Yeah. So I think even though these guys are winning games in the regular season, even though one has won a Super Bowl, even though one has been...
Bray, you say 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Robert Saleh.
Yep.
I was going to say Saleh.
Yep. Robert Saleh was going to be mine. But Saleh was going to be mine.
Saleh's my number 2.
He's actually on the hot seat. He's actually...
But the reason why
Robert Saleh's ass is burning.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Robert Saleh is like a no-brainer.
Mike McCarthy, man.
That Mike McCarthy was mine, dude. Oh, yeah.
Holy
God.
That's funny, Ryan.
Mike
I know which
McCarthy's
one to say
mine.
first.
I think those trump everybody that we named.
Yes.
Those are like no-brainers.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy, I don't think he'll ever get fired.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's another one.
Zach Taylor.
Nope. Anybody want to do it again?
Wait.
Okay,
Let me gather my thoughts.
Since I know we're playing now.
I got to gather my thoughts.
Okay, I got one more.
Are you going NFC or AFC?
It's NFC.
Okay, let me gather my thoughts.
NFC?
Hold on.
Okay.
Got it.
You ready? Okay.
Yep.
Bray, 3, say it.
All right, got you. I guarantee I know what you. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Brian Daboll.
There you go.
So good.
There it is.
I mean, big year for him.
Put your feet up on the desk, Daboll. Give me a break.
I mean, he is one of the most disrespectful grown men that I've ever come across in my life. Just completely disgusting, disrespected individual.
Giants ain't finna win that.
You know,
I told you, he was offensive coordinator when I was in Cleveland.
You know what's so funny is you see these Hard Knocks, okay? Difference between Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants, Hard Knocks training camp with the Chicago Bears. I had no feeling about Brian Daboll other than he was the offensive coordinator for Buffalo, came into New York, had a good season, thought he was a good coach. Didn't root against him, but didn't root for him either. Had a preconceived notion that I just did not like Eberflus, bum, bad coach, all that stuff. When you get an in-depth look at who these guys are, after watching that, I am now rooting against anything that Brian Daboll does because I think he's so disrespectful.
Poor Giants.
Yeah.
And Eberflus, I'm such a fan of. Take the division stuff and the Bears part out of it. I mean, like the dichotomy of watching two men do their jobs and then,
I
being
think
able
we
to
covered in this room.
change your
We covered
opinion about
every
it.
single coach. There's no other coach in the league that has a chance to get fired.
Not a chance to get fired.
Not a
but
chance.
Matt LaFleur, though.
There's
I'm
one.
looking at
There's-
you.
there- there's-
He's a
there's
genius.
one.
No, he's
There's
not going to
one.
get fired, but
There's one.
he always chokes in the playoffs. But go ahead.
There's definitely one. And Ryan hates their quarterback, and they're an AFC team. In
Hold
Florida.
on. Not Miami's coach.
No.
Jacksonville?
Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
100%. What has Jacksonville done with Doug Peterson?
They
Choke.
won a playoff game.
Choke.
2 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the Chargers gave that one away, to be real.
All right.
I'm trying to think if
I
there's
think
a
Calvin Ridley got out of there
coach
quick.
Yeah.
Hey, winning a playoff game shouldn't be the staple when you spend that
Right.
type of money that Shad Khan spends, and you have a quarterback that's supposed to be one of the transcending quarterbacks.
Right.
Like
That
winning
is-
one playoff game over his 55-year career, it ain't enough.
That is really the only division that we didn't touch. I mean,
'Cause they're all new.
AFC South and the AFC West we didn't touch.
Pause.
Because there's two new you've got a Hall of Famer, two first-year head coaches, and a second-year head coach. But yeah, I mean,
Dennis Allen in
New Orleans, I
It's a
know.
long
That's what-
shot.
that's what I
Man,
thought
he
you
should
were
have
gonna
been
say.
gone.
I want to
Right.
give credit
He
to
should've been gone.
who did this in the chat. Someone in the chat did Max Mayer. So that's Max Mayer's guy, Dennis Allen. Yeah, I never thought he was a good coach when he was with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And he's still surviving. So yeah, there's a chance for him too.
Right. Guys, take a break. When we come back, we'll go around the NFL, talk some college football as well. All that and so much more. But first, a message from KDK Law. They've got your back. That's right. KDK Law, dealing with divorce, child custody visitation, other family law issues. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10-plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on your screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you. KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
And that black and yellow sign out in front of your house tells the bad guys and anybody from Toledo one thing.
Stay out.
Let Guard and Alarm off you. Customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. These people have been proven to care, and this technology has been proven to work. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We're coming back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey guys, dreaming of a new home but feeling in a financial pinch? Well, you're lucky. Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. $5,000. That's a nice chunk of change. That's right. Give them a call right now. Mark White and Associates, 248-290-8242. Check them out online at markwhitesells.com. Again, that number for Mark White and Associates, 248-290-8242. To make your dreams come true, right?
All right, and you can make your dreams come true with a great haircut as well at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. I just made my appointment for next Tuesday. How about that?
Attaboy.
But you don't need an appointment. You can walk in, sit down, sit back, relax, let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Lady Jane's, you can walk in anytime, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome. All right, Tom Azaway, shall we go around the NFL?
I say we shall.
Let's
do it, man. Hey, as we told you, a week from tonight will be the opener in Kansas City. It is the Chiefs and the Ravens. But guess what? For the first time ever, you are going to have a Friday night game right after that. So the NFL came up with this great idea. Let's put the Packers and the Eagles out in Brazil. But guess what? That game is on the ropes right now, Rye.
Yeah.
Wildfires and other stuff.
And
bad air.
And even if they play it,
crime.
How dumb is this?
It's dumb.
This might be the NFL.
Too much.
Is the smartest, best league in professional sports in North America. This is the dumbest thing that they could possibly do. Braylon, they are not only putting their players at risk, they're putting their fans at risk. If you're a player, if you're a fan and you're traveling to Brazil, and if you do any sort of research on this game and where this game is being played and what is happening around where this game is being played, it is a safety concern, a major safety concern. And the fans and maybe the players' families will have security, but the fans who just want to go to the game, they might oh yeah, let's travel. This ain't London.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
If you remember the uniform disparity? I forgot one of the players spoke out. I'm trying to think who he played for. It was the Packers.
Gang-related thing or something like that.
You can't wear green or this type of thing, and they said that's wrong.
Right.
So he backed off on that. But now the wildfires, Bray, the bad air, and I want to remind you of years ago when Jared Goff and the Rams beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs when that game was supposed to be in Mexico City.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead, because of the wildfires there, it had to be played in L.A. at the Coliseum before SoFi was born. And that was one of the great games in Monday Night history, in football history, regular season-wise. But same thing here, maybe.
Yeah, look, sometimes I think you stretch yourself too thin, you know, and it's okay for the expansion of the brand. Look, I played in the NFL, so it's nothing more that I want to see than the league that I play in just get bigger and bigger and better and better. I mean, I like to make some money here somewhere, but no, I'm just joking. But you want to see that expansion, but at the same time, you want at the health, at the safety of the fans who are coming out of their pockets to come down to Brazil, to stay in Rio de Janeiro, to stay in these hotels, to frequent these restaurants, be safe. And then you talk about the wildfires. Like, come on, like this is something that's going on that you can see ahead of time. So I'm never going to be on the side of stopping change or stopping expansion, but at the risk, you know what I'm saying? Like, do your due diligence, if you will. And also, one of the big things, too, they talked about with the Notre Dame game, not the Notre Dame game, but the Georgia Tech game and the Florida State game, when they're having these games in Dublin. Yeah. You know who loses out, too? Same thing in the NFL. It's the community.
Yeah, we can't afford to go there.
It's the vendors. Well, it's the vendors.
Yeah, the small businesses that count on that home game
100%.
every year.
Yeah.
Parking, restaurants, hotel, lodge, things of that nature, Airbnbs, Uber, people that are going to like feed their families. Obviously, it's one game. But that is a major part when people are thinking jobs. Like, hey, I know this time I have this, that, and that. So when you don't have it, it's kind of like COVID. Like, you wiped out.
Surprised the NFL didn't take the Lions this year, because the NFL could then, come back and say, well, we made it up to you by giving you the draft. You know what I mean? So that's, that's.
I think they like the Lions. I think they want to give the Lions every opportunity to be in the best position to win.
Yeah.
Like, without cheating, if you want to. Like, they're trying to help the Lions. So, shoot, I'll take it. I don't want to go to Brazil.
Right.
I don't want
Don't
them
worry,
to.
we'll be gone next year. You could book it.
Yeah, next
we'll
year.
be in Germany next year.
This year we can focus on the Super Bowl. Next year we can worry about the second Super Bowl.
All right.
Yeah.
Amen.
I don't care if we slip up then.
Maz, what's going on with Tom Brady?
Okay, man. You know how I feel about this.
245.
Tom Brady took my guy's seat. He took Greg Olson's seat in the Fox booth. They paid him whatever, $300 million while he was still playing football to come be the number one guy next to my man Kevin Burkhardt in the Fox booth. Okay, so Greg gets kicked down to the second booth with Joe Davis. Okay, that's going to be a great team. But Tom Brady is involved in everything. As you know, he tried to buy the Miami Dolphins years ago, a piece of them. Stephen Ross wanted him as a partner. Instead, he gets with Mark Davis and buys a piece of the Raiders. Guess what Tom Brady cannot do as a broadcaster?
We just saw.
He cannot criticize the referees.
Yep. Makes sense.
During the broadcast.
Can't criticize the officials. He can't go to the production meetings. Right. He can't go into another NFL facility.
That's got to be.
He can't do the coaches' meetings.
He's got to drop the Raiders or drop this.
He has to.
He ain't dropping the Raiders. I'll tell you that.
Then he's not going to be in the booth.
I think I'm curious about this one. This is a big deal. Now this is per the AP. Now again, if this is true, and I reserve the right to change my mind if there is some variation of this report that is not true, okay? But as it stands in this report by the Associated Press, I think he's got to give up the booth or give up the Raiders. And he ain't giving up the Raiders, as you say, Keith. You can't. You are doing a disservice to your audience. You are doing a disservice to your NFL football fans if you cannot have the general knowledge of what happens at practice, because you can't show up to practice. If you can't meet with the coaches, so you've got no background. If you can't criticize the officials for something glaring that everybody sees but you can't talk about, and your job is to talk about what everybody can see and what they can't see, by the way. This is a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but I think Tom would be able to get around it. Look, when you talk about the referees, look, is he badgering the refs? Is he overly going overboard on the ref? I think anybody can go in there and say the obvious or the small thing. I don't think they're talking about him saying the small thing like, oh, I don't know about that call.
And that's what you have broadcast partners for.
100%, and that's why they learn to play off each other. I don't know about that call. He can say that. That's not, hey, oh my God, he said, I don't know about that call. I think there is some gray area there for him to operate in some space. Now, as it relates to knowing the players and breaking them down, he'll have full access to all the hard drives and all the documents in terms of game film. So he'll be able to break these players down. He'll be able to break them down, see what they are, be able to comment on them and know what they're going to do. And then it depends and leans on how good is Kevin Burkhardt, which you keep telling me he's the best in the business. Brady is smart enough to be able to make both of these things happen. I think once he gets on, once they see how good he is, I think he's going to be, look, and it's not a Michigan thing. This is just Brady typically wins at what he does. I think he's going to be good once he gets on there, and they're going to realize, all right, we may have to ease back on some of the stuff that he can't do because he's dynamite. He doesn't need to go to a production meeting. And that's only trying to get the little nuances of a player, and you have the little extra thing maybe to talk about when you're on air. But whatever's in those meetings, you can get a gist from somebody else in that meeting. Like, hey, what was Micah Parsons like? What was the temperature in the room? What's that? You can get that as you're out to dinner with Kevin Burkhardt because they always go out to dinner the night before or lunch or something like that. So I think he'll be good enough, and I think he'll be able to work around those things.
Listen, man, he can't do it if he can't say that's a bad call. That's a bad mark. They got to go to you can't.
Think about the pass interference call in the Lions
think about
playoff or
everything
anything like that.
Troy Aikman is going to call you out. That's a bad call. Let's go to our referee in the booth. It don't make sense. You can't. What's a color analyst do then? What's he going to say? Oh, I like him. Oh, I like the way he wears his uniform.
It's not one person.
But at the same
multiple
time, look, when I play in the NFL, it's the same thing. You can't badger the refs. You can't do that, or you'll get fined. I can say it wasn't a good call and not get fined. There are things you can say, but it's when you kind of extend it. It's when you harp on it. It's when you make it more than what it is. When you crack a joke about it that maybe it was a little bit overboard or past the gray area. Saying, hey, I don't know about that spot. Hey, I don't think that's a good call. He can say that. He can say that, but when you get overboard, I think that's where there'll be a problem. You mean to tell me he's a commentator and they're not going to allow him to say, I think that's a bad call?
I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he
I
can
believe
or
he gives up the ownership.
If it's a 3-person booth, though, I feel like they can work around that. If it's a 3-person
booth. It's not a
3-person
booth.
It's a 2-person,
Yeah.
Well,
he's got to give up the Raiders.
But why would he give up the Raiders? That's a lifelong move.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. You own an NFL team, a part of an NFL team. You shouldn't be calling NFL games.
Maz, I agree with you. This isn't me against you. I'm just saying, why would he give up the Raiders?
I'm talking in general.
Oh, why would he give the Raiders versus the booth?
He's going to give up a job for life?
That's the Raiders
is a job for life.
No, but he wants to be out there. He don't want to be quiet. He wants to be out in the public.
Ownership
He
is
can be
better
out there
than
with the Raiders.
broadcasting.
All right.
If Ryan owned Fox or had a chance to own a piece of Fox, he's taking that over being a broadcaster.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. I absolutely would, but I
never understood how they allowed him
I didn't either,
to buy
actually.
into the Raiders when he
Yeah.
had a $300,000 contract to call games on Fox.
It's really on NFL.
Who is their top NFL broadcast partner.
I just think he'll potentially have a chance at some point to own the Raiders outright. And it's only a matter of time. And what I'm saying 10 years on an NFL scale. It's only a matter of time before Mark has to sell that team because he doesn't know what the heck he's doing. It is a you-know-what show there. And that doesn't change. It doesn't get better. You see it time and time again when sons adopt franchises, when they take over, and it's not their cup of tea.
But
it's
not the
their
Raiders,
spill.
Man. Not Al Davis.
It was his bread and butter.
Al Davis, that's his legacy. Mark Davis would never sell the Raiders.
Then why did Mark Davis take it more serious?
I don't know. Why doesn't he get good haircuts? I don't know.
His hair is horrible.
I have no idea.
It's horrible.
There it is.
I have no idea.
And you just get more freedom as an owner, as opposed to a broadcast job.
The Raiders are the Davis family.
Give me one more, Maz.
Here's one for you. The Patriots have named, finally, Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback. If you remember earlier in the week, they let Bailey Zappi go. They cut him. So it looks like, by the way, Bailey Zappi wound up with the Chiefs. He's on the practice squad of the Kansas City Chiefs.
He's going to work,
So Jacoby Brissett
He's gonna work too.
is the QB right now for the Patriots, with Drake May sitting second and Joe Milton sitting in the practice squad.
Throw that whole franchise in the toilet.
If you're New England, Do you think you would do it all over again and make that trade with the Giants and swap 3 and 6?
Absolutely.
Or are you happy?
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think Drake. I think they love Drake, man.
Okay.
I think they do.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think they want to throw him to the Wolves yet, Ray.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart because they're not a good team.
I hope it works.
They're
I
not
think
a
it's
good
a
team.
smart move to make him second.
Dark days ahead in New England, though.
Just my opinion.
All right, guys. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more NFL, talk a little Tigers as well. Dr. Pierce Day, too. A lot to get to over the next 40 minutes. In the meantime, a message from
the pregame show, baby. Also, Woodward and Maine on game day, Detroit. You're going to be waking up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champion Detroit Lions. With insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every game day, 8 to 9 a.m., Woodward and Maine. And then you got the Lions pregame show, sponsored by Sabbath Coffee and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Beligian will be bringing you the best Lions pregame show Sunday, 10 to noon on Woodward Sports, giving you all the up-to-date injury reports, fantasy, sit and starts, and Detroit Lions knowledge. Delivering it as only Neil and Sean can. Join us every home game live at the second best bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network.
#1.
And that would be Woodward Sports. Can you tell me a little bit about merch, my friend Kenny G?
I sure can, because if you need to get fresh for the pregame show, Woodward Sports has got you, man. Go to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab, and just unlock a plethora of good sports gear. Of course, Boo Them Kids right around the corner, September 8th. You know you got to get your Boo Them Kids shirt. But we got whatever else you need. Tigers, Lions, Pistons, oh my, everything you can get at woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Come on now. I know it's a dream of y'all's to play golf with Braylon Edwards. I heard he's pretty good, by the way. What about Darren McCarty or Kirk Gibson or maybe even Calvin Johnson. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today, and you could play like a VIP, but those spots are going fast. Golf season's almost over, so go to woodwardsports.com, scan that QR code right above my head, and when it comes to your next car or truck, let's just make the wise decision. It's Randy Wise Automotive.
It's not the only wise decision. Another wise decision is going to Soroki's because they mastered crispy chicken and pizza.
Facts.
But don't forget about that. They also have the fresh salads, the fresh sides, and the honey biscuits. The honey biscuits, what I keep telling you about. My mama biscuits are the best. But Soroki's is right up there. But if that's not your speed, then why don't you go to the Nashville, which is in town. The Nashville Hot is back. It's the pizza, the tenders, the fries, and the chicken tender sandwich. But don't be alarmed. It is smoky. It's got some heat to it, some delicious heat. That is Nashville Hot Soroki's popping up all over metropolitan Detroit.
There's two stories I want to get to in the NFL before I just make a quick jump to college football, because college football does kick off tonight as well. Maz, I need your help with this. Braylon, I've never heard of this before. I mean, maybe it happened, but the New York Giants are unretiring number one for Malik Neighbors. The family of Hall of Famer Ray Flaherty gave his blessing. And maybe that's the only person's opinion that we need is the family. But nonetheless, I find this to be not great for neighbors too. Like it's to terrible. Where like you want that number.
I look at it like this, okay? Numbers make who an individual are. Look, if number one is his number, that's the number you want. He got the blessing from the family. Who are we to sit here and say, oh, it's terrible, oh, it shouldn't happen? Malik wanted the number, he asked, he got the blessing. We'll leave it at that. Numbers change nowadays. Like, numbers are more synonymous ever, I think, with kids ever, in terms of number, what the identity is. I just think it's dumb on behalf of Malik Neighbors. When you want a number like that, it's going to put a certain thing on you. Like, if you were going to Pittsburgh Steelers, would you ask for 32? Like,
Franco Harris?
Would you ask for 32? Like,
or 12.
I never heard of Ray Flaherty. Is he a big-time player?
I got to be honest. I never heard of him, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's mad. He probably played in the 40s or something.
Right.
40s or
maybe older than that.
True.
Now, if you remember, back in Detroit, remember when they brought Pat Swilling here?
Yeah.
He asked for number 56.
That's right.
Joe Schmidt. And Joe Schmidt said, go ahead. What happened to Pat Swilling?
He was a bum.
He sucked.
Here.
Yeah.
He was great
So you
before
took it out of Hawk, gave it to Swilling. He made a mockery of himself.
But
and now it's back in mothballs again. I think it's a bad look. Unless Neighbors paid the family. And I'm sure maybe he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took care of the family, and there it is. I mean, he took care of the family. He asked for it. They gave the blessing. I just think it's – remember when Michigan did it for the great 98, and they let Devin Gardner wear Tom Harmon's jersey?
Yeah.
And they let him wear
that was when they had their old-time jersey.
Legends jerseys.
But then they let him wear it the rest of the season. Like, he was allowed to wear it the rest of the season. It just never seemed right. When somebody's jersey is somebody else's already, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Like, it's theirs. Like, if you play for the 49ers and you get number 80 somehow, you get Jerry Rice's blessing, and you have an amazing career. You're not Jerry Rice.
True.
Jerry Rice came before you. Like, and the list goes on and on. Brett Favre, number 4. Nobody that wears 4 in Green Bay will ever be Brett Favre. He's already done that. So I think if you have someone that's already established at that level, why even try, not to surpass, but why try to get that number and make it your own? Because it's not going to be your own. Even if Justin Jefferson let's say Justin Jefferson was wearing 84.
Yeah.
Doing the things that he's doing and killing it and crushing it and breaking records, that's still Randy Moss.
No, it'll always be known as Moss. But doesn't the NBA do double numbers?
That's why they're the NBA.
But NBA is different. Like,
number 20 for the Lions was worn by Lem Barney.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been done then.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Billy Sims.
Who was great.
Then it goes to Barry Sanders.
Who was greater.
All right? Now 84. Ryan and I talk about this. Shane Zylstra wearing 84 to me is a sin. That number should be up in the rafters. That's Herman Moore's number, 84. That number should not be worn by any other Detroit Lion. If you ask me, and I'm pretty sure if you ask Ryan, it would be the same damn question. Same damn answer.
Yeah, and 54 is out there too, by the way.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
Are you kidding? Spielman's number's out there?
Yeah, somebody's out there with a 54.
Yeah.
All right, that makes me really
You know?
Is it fair to ask this question? And we're just conversating. What did they actually? I can't ask that. I mean, like they each won a playoff game.
Yeah,
I don't care.
But
I feel you, but winning counts. Winning in Hall of Fame counts.
You know, it's like
I didn't say Hall of Fame. I
don't
said
think
Lions rafters. Lions.
Is 81 retired by the Lions?
I don't
Calvin?
think so. No,
No.
not yet.
No,
It
it's
will
not.
be.
No.
Oh my God, no, it's
Yeah.
not. 81. Calvin. Dick Night Train Lane wore number 81
He
for
did.
the Lions.
He did.
So, you know what I
16
mean?
interceptions
Like,
one season.
so did Calvin ask for that number out?
His family wrote a book. Like they got a book out and like a whole series thing coming out.
I guess the Lions don't, just all right, just go
Yeah,
ahead and
they
wear
do.
it.
That's how
really
Michigan
care.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about like if you asked anybody over the age of 60 or maybe over the age of 50
Yeah.
who the great Detroit Lions are in the history, Dick Night Train Lane's name is probably among that list.
Alex Karras.
Yeah, Alex
Yeah.
Karras.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
They put names in the pride, but they don't do numbers, it seems like. So, yeah.
You're right about that. So I don't know, man.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I saw
forgot
that.
about those. Jeez.
But I think that's how most teams do. They'll put your name in the pride.
Yeah.
They put the number you wore, but your number's not retired.
Right.
I'm sorry. I really believe 84 should be up there. I do.
In the pride.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I do too. I just, and
54 as well.
Yeah. And 20.
well, now Spielman's name is in the pride,
Yeah.
but
How
I
about,
don't.
how about Lomas, 75?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that should be
Lomas
retired.
should be there.
One of the, I mean, but he is, isn't it? We were at
I
that
don't know.
game.
I don't know. He's
was at the
retired. I don't know if his number's
I
retired.
was at the Monday night game when
I
they
have
did
no
that.
idea. Against the
That
Raiders.
was to put his name in the pride. It wasn't to
That's the
retire
Raiders.
his number, though.
Right.
Maybe they just put low down up there. I don't know what the hell's
Low
up there.
down with low brown.
I think names are the right thing. I think names are good. Numbers aren't. At the end of the day, you put names up there. It's hard to get a number retired, in my estimation, because of what you got to do. If you're going to retire a number, like that means no one will ever be able to use this number again. There are a lot of players that come and go in the NFL. There are a lot of numbers that are needed.
Everybody in the chat's like, Aleem McNeil wears 54.
Oh, God.
No, he does.
I'm sorry.
He does.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Shit on the league.
Oh, my God.
Unless you do something that is Hall of Fame and memorable, I don't
Right.
think you deserve to get your number retired. There are too many spots in the NFL.
Right.
You
Yep.
need those numbers. You need those jerseys. Like unless
Yes,
you
the Yankees from, look how many numbers are retired for the Yankees. It's
True,
an
they don't
honor.
have any numbers.
It's an honor.
I understand it, but this ain't baseball.
That's why Judge wears 99.
Well, understand, but this
Yeah.
ain't the Lions. I mean, this isn't them. You need these numbers. There are certain numbers you have to wear when you play a certain position. You can wear any number and play baseball. You can wear 100
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
be a pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only wear a certain amount if you're offensive lineman. You can only wear a certain amount if you're a wide receiver.
Not anymore. Now
Well,
you can
they
wear any
did
number.
change it a little bit, but
Remember
yeah.
they made that rule change.
Linemen can't wear one.
Look at wide receivers. They can wear 0 to 9 now.
I know, but I'm saying like, 0 to what?
9.
Yeah, 0 to 9, and then 10 to 19, and then 8
yeah.
and 8. So they still can't wear 70. They still can't wear 60.
Yeah,
They still can't wear 50.
That would be sweet, though, if you saw
That'd be funny in the
wide
woods.
receiver streaking
55.
Right. 42. You're right. 42. TJ Duckett.
That's you get your number. If you get your number retired in the NFL, you better be Lawrence Taylor. You better be Barry Sanders. You better be Deion Sanders.
Right.
Like, you got to be somebody that we talk about as one of those guys.
Change
like,
the game.
That everybody's talking about. Like when visiting teams come to your arena and they see that number in the rafter, they, even though they're coming from somewhere else, they know who that person is.
So for the Lions, that would be Barry and
Barry,
Calvin.
that would be Barry and Calvin.
Yeah, Barry and Calvin.
Hoof hearted on the chat. Hoof hearted.
Right.
Shout
Said
out.
once the Lions run out of numbers, they can use emojis.
That's guys.
funny.
I thought they were doing away with this year, but the chain gangs are going to be back this
What?
year.
I thought they was cooked.
I thought that was
No.
it, but the chain gangs are
Chain
back.
gangs are back.
Apparently,
It's not ready yet.
Oh, wow.
But for 2025,
Yep,
it
computerized.
should be up and
Look at
running.
this.
It should be up and running. But yeah, we got the guys.
They're going
with
to
the
take
twisted
10 minutes
chains.
to get out there and figure out an inch.
Let's get a credit card out and see if
Right.
he got that first down.
It takes them
great.
so
I know.
long.
Speaking of chain games, did you see what's going on in college football now in terms of the
I did the quick replay, maybe. Or what?
I don't know about that, but there's a 2-minute drill now.
Oh, it's the
2-minute
clock.
warning?
It's called the
2-minute timeout.
warning. It's called the 2-minute timeout. Like just go.
It's about time.
You know what they need to just do? Because this is the biggest feeder program there is in terms of college sports. Is the NFL which is NCAA football to the NFL. Just give all the same rules as the NFL.
Yeah.
And like, what are we doing? At this point, you have speaker systems in the head now.
So 2 feet in then?
Kids getting paid. It
2
might,
feet. At this point,
I agree.
Teach them now, so
I
they don't have
agree.
to. That's one of the big things you overcome as a wideout or a tight end, like in the league, is you forget about the 2 feet.
Yeah.
1 knee equals 2 feet.
Yep.
Right.
Just make everything the same in college as
that.
it is in the NFL.
Might
That's
as well.
all. It's the same.
Okay,
it's the same
so
league.
1 knee equals 2 feet.
It does. Elbow,
Elbow.
shoulder.
Yep.
Last one I want to get to before we break here. The Washington Commanders, their owner, says that he will not go back to the previous name.
He said, "We know you don't like the Commanders nickname, but we cannot go back to the Redskins name."
Yeah.
And he says there's too much against it. And there's been a lot of push to have it come back. You know it ain't coming back in this day and age.
Yeah.
And it's just part of history now.
But you can't change the Commander's name again, can you?
You can.
Just changed it too. Then
I don't think it's a bad nickname, to be honest.
They
with
should have
you.
never changed from
You know what
Washington
they gotta do?
football
We gotta
team.
win.
Thank you.
Washington football
Thank
team
you.
was
Oh,
clean.
Why? They play soccer?
Yeah, no, it wasn't club. It was team. It's a difference.
That's
So
garbage.
who's a mascot then? That was my
A
only
football.
Yeah.
See, and they're
Or a
like,
W. The same W that's on the
with
helmet
football.
now.
Yeah.
The same W that's
Not every
so
team
now you got a
got a football.
mascot, a big W just running around.
Not every
what it
team.
is.
spinning
Has,
signs
Bro,
outside the
every
stadium.
team-
not every team has a mascot.
Every team
This is
in
true.
the major
Michigan
leagues,
don't have a mascot.
Yeah.
Every team in all the major leagues has a nickname. The only one that doesn't is the new Utah Hockey Club, which will now be the following year. They'll have a nickname, and it'll probably be the Yeti.
Oh yeah.
But that's it.
But what is it this year?
Utah Hockey Club.
Of course it is.
You're right.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Of
Because they
course
couldn't
it
come
is.
up with a name right away
clean,
for the
man.
Arizona Coyotes team.
Well,
Utah Hockey Club is not going to be the name. Okay?
why not? It
Enjoy
should
it
be.
for the year.
Wait till you see it sticks.
Yeah.
Enjoy it
I
for
like
the year.
UHC.
I told you we did that segment. You weren't here when me and Maz talked about the hockey clubs. I was
Yep.
like, Ryan would be proud
He
of
would.
this name.
Yep.
Utah Hockey Club.
No doubt.
Yeah. I'm with you on the Washington football
All right,
team.
I'm going to take a break. We'll come back, talk Tigers. I don't see Dr. Pierce just yet.
He will.
If
He's in some hotel with no service, some shady looking setup.
He's probably getting another doctor to sit with him right now.
All right, very
I
good.
got you.
But we'll check in with Dr. Pierce, or we'll talk Tigers, one or the other. We'll do that next. But first message from the Boys and Girls Club.
The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern
Tigers.
Michigan. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. Offers ages from 5 to 14. Look, we got to put youth back in youth football. Get the youth sports. Get the kids out of the house. Get them playing sports. Get them outside. If it's not football, then cheerleading is also offered. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks, so your kids will be safe. You have our word. Equipment, meals, and transportation included for all. For a chance to play at Ford Field, the home of the Kings, in the north of Detroit Lions. This is where it's at. This is where you should be. Sign up now. I mean, hey, we got East Point on here, Highland Park, Belleville, and Detroit. This is the league for you. Sign up at bgcsm.org.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supplies has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today.
Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
We are doing the best post-game coverage in the city. Really the best pre-game coverage too, but we talking about the post-game right now, man. It's the watch party with the heavyweights live from Hayes Social in Shelby Township, man. Tune in for the watch party. You got Easy, you got Spinny. You know they gonna have live reactions to everything that happens on the field. Watch Easy's Jared Goff takes, by the way. And at the end of that, we have the post-game show with Stick and Anson, man. Get their first reactions and maybe overreactions to everything that happened in the Lions game and everything coming up. And if you want to call in, you can do so. If you want to stop in at Hayes Social, you can do so as well. Come join the party, man. Everything is sponsored by Sabbath Coffee. It's the watch party and the post game show.
Back Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Maswick, KG, Pete Spivak here as well. It is time now. Maz, before we get to Dr. Pierce, give me thought on the Tigers. Couldn't get the big hit today.
They lost 3-0 today. They had numerous chances. They put two guys on in the last 4 innings of the game. Couldn't get him home. Lost a leadoff double. Couldn't get him home. Kiter Montero pitched awesome. One bad pitch. It was like an ephus pitch almost. And the guy, Zach Nito, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, knocked it out of the park. Basically falling off one leg, he knocked it out of the park. And it's a 3-0 loss. It's a tough one. That ends the 6-game winning streak. The Red Sox come in. They're scrapping too. They're 3 games back of the wild card. Tigers now fall 6 games back.
5 games.
5 back. They were 4.5, so they're 5 back right now.
I was about to say 6.
Got to take 2 out of 3 from the Sox.
No doubt about it. Sox are the team that's that they're right in front
Top
of.
2.
So absolutely.
Casey Mize also set to pitch, and he hasn't pitched in a long time.
Coming back from
Tommy John, back injuries. He hurt his knee, but he says he's ready to roll.
That's right.
Dr. Pierce will get him on the field.
Absolutely. Let's get right to our WSN injury insider from the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, the great Dr. Pierce. Dr. Pierce, how are you, my friend? You sleeping? Dr. Pierce.
Oh, Doc.
Okay.
Oh, Doc.
All right.
Oh, Doc.
I got nothing.
Call back, Doc.
Call back. I think he was frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
I think he was frozen. And
there he is. Well, now he's moving again.
All right, let's see.
Well, sort of movement.
Hey, KZ, like he hit that hay.
Are you there, Doc?
For real. He out of there.
Doc, you there?
Doc, are you moving?
No, he's frozen.
He's frozen in time.
He's frozen in time. Absolutely. So nonetheless, continue on with the Tigers here for a second. I mean, look, they're not going to win the rest of their games, but a little bit of a falling flat today. They had so many opportunities, even in the early innings, hit into 2 double plays.
Cork struck out in the 8th inning with the bases loaded, and he was pissed. He was pissed. I really wanted him to tee off on that one. Too much, probably. He probably wanted to hit one out of the park to win it for him. It would have been a great ending and a great send-off to play these Red Sox. It just didn't happen today. You can't win them all. You and I said win 18 out of 20. Okay, We're 2-1 so far.
Not 18 out of 20, 18 out of 30.
That's a lot.
Excuse me.
20 out of 30.
20 out of 30.
Yeah.
So we're
20 out of 30.
2-1.
Yep.
2-1. So we got to win 16 out of.
Got to win 17 out of. Matt's got to win 18.
Oh, yeah.
Got to win 18 games out of their next. I don't know.
28.
Something like that.
18
Dude,
of 28.
I've been up since 4:30. I can't be doing all this math right now off
18
the
to
top of my
28.
head.
They got to win.
It's just tough, and this is why I didn't
gonna
want
be
to.
tough.
It's fun. It's fun
Yeah.
to watch, and you hope. And so let me not be, Krampus. Yeah, it's just going to be tough because you're going to see some of the same things we've been seeing all season. You know, you need runs and can't get them. You need hits and can't get them. So that's one of the big deals. I see Doc's coming, so thumbs up to that. But also the pitching. It works sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes. The pitching isn't good, but then it works in the sense of you can't prepare for the bullpen. Those bullpen games, you can't prepare for those pitchers. You can only see them once in the game, so that gives you an effect. But yeah, whatever.
Bray, we said 20 wins in the last 30 games, so now it would be 18 wins in the last 27 games.
Good job.
Guys, let's go to Dr. Pierce now. Dr. Pierce, where are you coming to us from? Parts unknown, I take it?
He's not even in the same room.
We're in the Cincinnati. It was a Wi-Fi thing. It wasn't me.
All right, Doc.
Doc, we were just talking about now we can. We were just talking about the Tigers, and they'll get Casey Mize back tomorrow. Casey Mize obviously coming off of Tommy John surgery, and then ultimately back issue. He gets a start tomorrow for the Tigers. This guy, when you deal with a back issue as a pitcher and an elbow surgery, essentially, what's this guy dealing with? What's he going through? What's his rehab been like?
Well, unfortunately, it's two separate issues that he's going to have to deal with. Are you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can see. It's not bad.
You're good.
It's a beautiful sky, by the way.
Yeah, so it's usually you hear about a back injury with a hip injury and a knee injury. These are two separate things he's got to deal with. So when he's doing therapy, he's like basically doing two different sessions with two different focuses and two different outcomes. So it's actually a lot more to deal with than, like I said, it's a hip and back because they're related. Basically the elbow, it's, you can say he's got mechanics to work his back to throw in a certain direction. He's got to have that rotational core going, but really that's not the issue. The Tommy John it's basically a rehab program in itself, building that elbow strength, building the shoulder strength, and upper back strength, let alone his hand. When you're dealing with the back, obviously everybody knows about the core of the back. But with pitches, you're worried about rotation and how he's coming through with his mechanics. So it's really two separate issues. So definitely more concerning than obviously a single injury, or even like if it was an elbow shoulder thing, it makes sense. But this is two separate parts of the body. So he's got a lot more work ahead of him and a lot more issues that could arise. But I think the bigger issue was his elbow, which I think has been his main focus. The back should come naturally behind that.
Talking to Dr. Jeff Pierce, our WSN Injury Insider. Let me move to some football now. One of the guys that the Lions signed in the offseason, probably their best free agent pickup, was defensive tackle DJ Reader. He's been out pretty much all camp, just pulled up now off the PUP list, and so much talk whether he'll play week 2 or week 1. He's dealt with a torn quad. He's done no football exercises. He hasn't practiced. He hasn't hit. He hasn't done anything. How slow can that quad, and I guess the question would be, how quickly can you get into football shape? You might be healthy enough. The knee or the quad might be structural, in good structural health, for lack of a better way to say it. But how long does that take to get into football health?
We've talked about this about multiple injuries. One is he's physiologically healed, correct? So that's number one. Number two is to get that muscle strengthened so it's balance. It's a muscle balance thing that I always talk about. And then 3 is what you're saying. He's got to work 1 into football strength, and then 4 he needs to work into the mental. Right? We talked about guys that get injured. They got to feel like, are they hesitant? Are they gonna be hesitant? I know he's had more than one injury recently. We went over. He's got like 4 different injuries. So he's been there, but you're also mentally worried about re-injury. So we're worried about his re-injury rate. So they're saying hopefully by week 2, This guy's got to be phenomenal shape right now to get into football strength. So to see him come back in week 2, I'd be surprised. There's a lot, like you're alluding to, there's a lot of rehab he still needs to, recover from. Being healthy just for the injury itself and the recovery and the healing of the surgery. And that's another thing. He had surgery on that quad. That's a surgical repair. I think it's been 9 months, and we're saying he's okay. So I've cautioned to him returning within the next 2 weeks for sure.
Hey, Doc, I've got one for you. They signed a wide receiver from the Broncos, Tim Patrick. Big, tall receiver, hasn't really played in 2 years, had an Achilles, and then he had an ACL. How soon before he'll be ready? He is right now on the practice squad. They're probably going to make a move and bring him on to the active squad here in the next 10 days or so, hopefully. What's your take on him?
So he's taken the year. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We don't know him personally. We don't know him mentally. That this guy worked his behind off in that year to recover, to get back to his passion of football. And sometimes, like I've mentioned, these guys come back bigger and stronger and a little bit wiser, meaning they're not invincible, that they do have injuries, they do respect their body a lot differently, and this guy's going to do that, and the Lions will hopefully luck out with that mental attitude. So the recovery is the recovery. We talked about that 6-month physiological recovery. You got an Achilles and an ACL. The two, those used to be career-ending injuries in one person. I think this guy's going to show mental toughness, physical commitment, committing to his body, and hopefully be, is he going to be ready in 2 weeks to be on the field? I think he needs to get on the field and feel confident that he can make a cut without, game time, putting a red shirt on, being in the practice is way different than live game time. I think Braylon can attest to that.
This is very true.
Hey, Braylon,
Yes.
Dr. Pierce, we talk a lot about, these athletes today in the preparation and like preparing your body for play. Tom Brady is the first guy that comes to mind that did every single thing possible, it felt like, to not get injured. And that is the goal in the first place, right? I mean, how important to you is having a plan to take care of your body before you get injured?
Well, that's the whole philosophy behind Michigan Sports and Spine is prevention. We've talked prevention from the day I started practicing. If we can get ahead of it, that's all about it. And I think the Brady factor and, the Aaron Rodgers factor, but we won't give them that kind of credit. But I think the young guys are starting to learn, I need to take care of my body. I have a nutritionist. I have a trainer. I have all these people to us. And even, more importantly, sometimes these agents want it. So, you there?
Yeah, so,
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, so I think even the agents, because, not follow the dollar, but they're encouraging these guys to be healthier. They are putting them into a program a lot quicker. So if any message to a young player that's not injured is take a look at the guy next to you that was injured. What's the commitment? So you need a prevention program. What does that mean? It means you've got to worry about your flexibility. If we go back to the young athletes, which I'm pushing right now, is that you have to do the plyometrics. McCaffrey is probably the best example of today. We'll call it the McCaffrey factor. That guy's not in there powerlifting all day. He's in there working on plyometrics. What does that mean when you do the plyometrics first? That means if you build that infrastructure of plyometrics, meaning the small ligaments, the small muscles, the twitch fibers, all the important stuff to stay healthy is being pushed and challenged right out of the gate, and then you build muscle around it. As opposed to building muscle around it, you create a muscle imbalance, and then these ligaments in these areas become problems. A Tommy John injury is a perfect example of stuff like that. So you need to be smarter. We're getting smarter, but we're not there yet. But if anything, for players that are young or players that are current, you need to focus on those crazy plyometrics and understanding body infrastructure. It's not just about building up big muscles. Big muscles is a complement to it.
Doc, I got about.
That's my new horse.
That's good. I got about 2 minutes in the show left. Talk to me about where that sky looks absolutely beautiful. What are you doing in? Where are you? Cincinnati. What are you doing there?
Cincinnati. Nothing. You know, we're expanding the business. I have a fellow here, Dr. Eakins, who wants to have a mini Michigan Sports and Spine here in Ohio. So we're helping them develop that. We're doing a lot of the biologics, the exosomes, stuff like that. So we're helping them build that, and I brought my team out here to help them.
It's fantastic, man.
I heard Ohio, and I zoned out.
Doc, thanks so much for the time, man. We'll get you. We'll see you in studio.
One question.
Yep.
I went to the game on Tuesday night. Do you know about Tuesday night's baseball game?
Yeah, the 3-hour rain delay.
3-hour rain delay. How many voters said Dr. Pierce waited for the whole 3 hours for the game to start again? How many people thought I waited?
I would say no, but the way you asked the question, did you?
I waited.
Oh, you did?
I stayed through the 8th inning.
You must have had. You must have had a nice seat.
I had a good seat.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Circle,
right? That's great. Dr. Pierce, thanks so much. We'll see you in studio next week, okay?
All right, perfect.
All right.
See you, Doc.
You got it.
Safe.
Absolutely.
Who has more fun than Doc? He just
telling
always
you.
like he's having fun.
He's doing Riley. I don't know who Riley is, but whatever they say, man.
Riley's his assistant.
Yeah, that's his assistant with the purple hair. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anybody that happy in Ohio. What are you doing out there, Doc?
Right? Guys,
I wish I was Dr. Pierce.
College football tonight. Pete, your Bowling Green team plays tonight.
Come on,
Pete.
baby. Let's go.
Brown
Opening up with Fordham.
Who do they play?
Hold your
we
helmet
got
up,
an
Pete.
FCS opponent, Fordham, tonight, and
They got
then
a good
looking
team?
forward to we're playing Fordham.
The
Looking
Fordham
forward to
Rams.
next week against Penn State.
No, like, is your team good this year? or
Yes,
no?
we are expected to either win the MAC or finish second.
Get outta here.
Us in Toledo.
Get out of here.
Not kidding.
The backyard brawl is
Backyard brawl is going to be for the possibly for the title, baby.
Oh man,
I might go to that game, man. I told you, my wide receivers coach Soup, Eric Campbell.
The Glass Bowl.
He's there. He's
Maz and I were
night
thinking of
action.
going to the new Saturday game, so maybe we should make it a team.
Get some action.
Some action, baby.
Yeah. That game's back. Bray, get us out of here. I got to go to a high school football game
See,
now.
I'm not going. Look, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. This is Money News with Maz. We doing it every Monday through Friday. We have a hell of a good time, man. So tune in. We appreciate you. KG, my man, Peace Pie back over there. Tom Maz away on the couch. And go Dealer Sell Pilots.
Yeah,
go Pilots.
I'm a pilot too, baby.
If any Bishop
Go
Gallup you
Pilots.
guys heard me say that, they're going to kick my butt. We'll see you guys tomorrow.